He was somebody's child, but Bartimaeus, despite his condition, was somebody.
Amen.
Now, he might have been sitting out on the roadside, in the wayside, begging while all of this activity is going on. People are going to and fro. They're traveling. They're going to work. They're going to temple. They're going to synagogue. They're going to harvest their crops. And the only thing blind Bartimaeus can do is sit on the wayside begging, unnoticed, not appreciated, not valued by the society in which he lived. Y'all ain't with me today. He is somebody. Who was that? Was that Jesse Jackson? Said, I am somebody.
That's right.
You are somebody. Regardless of what your actual condition may be, you are somebody, and you are valued by God.
That's right.
Blind Bartimaeus. Now, Jesus is traveling, and the Bible says there was a crowd with him and his disciples. Right? Mm-hmm. The crowd did not take notice of Bartimaeus, nor did Jesus' disciples take notice of Bartimaeus. So by application, it could be said that those who are on the outskirts of life are not recognized by the political system nor the economic system. Now, if that's not bad enough, they often are not noticed by the crowd that's following Jesus, nor the disciples of Jesus. He's just another blind man sitting by the side of the road, begging for a handout. And as I said before, we're not focused on giving handouts, but we are concerned with giving a hand up.
That's right. Thank you, Jesus.
But we have to notice those who need a hand up.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes, we just want to speak to the crowds or speak to the disciples.
Okay.
So if I'm a believer, I want to find other believers that I can speak to. While all of the while, there are those who are out on the outskirts, those that are not welcome in, who really recognize Jesus. Now, someone may be saying, well, how can you say that? I'm so glad that you asked. Bartimaeus said, who is that? I said, oh, that's the preacher from Nazareth. That's Jesus. And what does Bartimaeus say? Jesus, what did he call Jesus? Son of David. The crowd didn't get it. The disciples didn't get it. The political system didn't get it. The economic system didn't get it. Neither did the institutional church of the day get it. Someone is saying, get what? That Jesus is the Son of David. But here's a blind man sitting by the side of the road outside of the church who recognized Jesus is the Son of David. But how does he know Jesus is the Son of David? He's blind. He has never visibly seen Jesus. He is a blind man. So far, so good. How does he know? I'll come back to that. Let's look a little bit more at Bartimaeus. Blind Bartimaeus. Now, this I found to be shocking. The name Bartimaeus actually is a compound of two Hebrew words. Bar, which means oldest or heir, or tam, which means foul or unclean. Here is Bartimaeus, who is the oldest son, he is the heir, he is the inheritor in the family. But he has a problem because he's unclean, he's foul. He's not able to approach the presence of God. So if you put his name together, every time somebody calls him Bartimaeus, it's like saying, hey, foul sinner. Does that sound familiar? Hey, unclean. This was his inheritance. He inherited uncleanliness. He inherited a condition that rendered him incapable of approaching the presence of God. He is ritualistically unclean by inheritance. Somebody say by inheritance. Sounds like humanity to me. We inherited our condition. It's by birth. Somebody say by birth. That's what Paul was alluding to when he said all have sinned and come short of the glory of God, but are freely given righteousness through Christ. All have sinned. We're not in the shape and in the condition of brokenness the way that we are because of stuff we've done. This is what I'm trying to get across. This is stuff we've inherited from Adam. When Adam transgressed the commandment of God, all of humanity fell in Adam. So we're all messed up. That's right. Thank you, preacher. Yeah. Preacher said that's right. And where are we? On the side of the road, begging, blind. But somehow Bartimaeus got wind that somebody is going around the villages teaching and preaching, and I heard rumor that some folk out there have even gotten their eyes restored. I heard rumor that this preacher from Nazareth who's going around the villages, I'm hearing rumor that he is actually laying hands on lepers, and lepers are being cleansed. I'm hearing rumors that there was this woman, and this woman had an issue of blood for 9 years and 12 years. And she heard about Jesus, and she pressed her way through the crowd. The crowd is always a problem. I'm going to come back to that. Crowd's always a problem. Because everybody don't want to touch Jesus. They want to be around him, but they don't want to touch him. I'm coming back to that. But he heard rumor that this woman just touched the hem of his garment and her issue of blood dried up. I heard rumor that thieving tax collector by the name of Zacchaeus, he had to climb up in a tree because he was short and he couldn't see over the crowd. I tell you, the crowd is always a problem. You can't, you can't follow the crowd, even in the church. And so he heard rumor that Zacchaeus, he climbed up in this tree and he caught Jesus' attention. See, sometimes you got to get out there to get Jesus' attention. Sometimes it takes you to do some stuff that's outside of your comfort zone to touch Jesus. Or let me rephrase it, to get his attention. And so on the inside of this blind man by the name of Bartimaeus, this foul sinner, who was reminded of his condition every time somebody called his name. How would you like to live your life with a name like that? Every time somebody calls your name, it's reminding you how unclean you actually are. My. Blind Bartimaeus. It's Jesus. Jesus, thou son of David. He had to connect the dots. Somebody say connect the dots. If this Jesus is opening blind eyes, if he's healing the sick, if he's raising the dead, if he's healing lepers, he has to be the son of David, because that's the only person that it was ever prophesied about that would carry that kind of power. Somebody say power. Oh, Lord, getting ready to start talking about power in the church. Watch this now. When he heard it was Jesus, he began to cry out and say, Jesus, son of David, have mercy. Now, in 2 Samuel chapter 7, verses 12 through 13, you remember that it was prophesied to David that when your days are fulfilled and you sleep with your fathers, I will set up your seed after you, who will come out of your bowels, and I will make his kingdom sure. He shall build a house. Somebody say, he shall build a house. Who's building the house? Just say he. Okay. He is building a house for my name. This was the promise. The one that's coming will build a house for my name. Who's doing the building? Again, he. And he's doing the building for whose name? His. So he's doing the work, and it's for his glory. So whose house is it? His house. It's his house. Whoever this promised seed of David is, he's going to come, he's going to build a house. Because y'all remember, David wanted to build a house for God. And God said, no. You can't do that. Why not? Because you shed some innocent blood there. But your son after you. And then I'm going to set up a seed. And so this promise that was given to David, oh, I can't stop there. And I will establish his throne of his kingdom forever. So not only is he going to be a house builder, he's going to be a ruler. He's going to sit over a kingdom. He's going to be a builder, but he's also going to be royalty.
That's right.
My. Israel longed for that. That was the hope of Israel. This coming Messiah, this coming one, this one that David had promised long ago, because their city and their temple had been destroyed. But when the greater son of David comes, he's going to rebuild the house. He's going to give. Oh, I hear echo from Acts. Wilt thou at this time restore the kingdom to Israel? The kingdom was uppermost in their mind the whole time. They're waiting for the Messiah to come. Problem was, when he showed up, they didn't recognize him. But blind Bartimaeus did. It's a messianic title. Jesus threw this question at the Jews back in Matthew 22. You with me back there? Okay. No, you're not. You way behind. But that's all right. You getting it. Nope. Okay. Now stay with me now. Because I'm reading stuff and I'm thinking that they seeing it and doing a good job, though. Now, while the Pharisees were gathered, Jesus asked them, saying, what do you think about the Christ or the Messiah? Whose son is he? I love this. What do you think? So he said, David's. Y'all see that, right? Mm-hmm. Say, tell me about the Christ. Let me ask y'all a question. Whose son is he? I love the way Jesus posed these theological questions at the Pharisees, and he always stumped them. Whose son is he? It says David's. He said, well, let me ask you a question. How then does David in the Spirit or by the Spirit call him Lord, saying, the Lord said to my Lord, sit on my right hand until I make your enemies your footstool for your feet? If David then calls him Lord, how is he his son? That's a good question. If David calls him Lord, then how is he David's son?